Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool, thanks in a large part to our partners at the VFS School of Game Design. Thank you so much, Vancouver Film School. Now, this rundown is dedicated to EBW returns who can't wait for an N64 classic a few years from now. Good comment. This rundown is all yours, and let's see what our first story is. It probably won't be as hard to get an SNES Classic as it was to get an NES Classic, but that doesn't mean you should take your time. Nintendo says they're planning to make more SNES Classics in order to meet demand and avoid the shortages that they had last year with the NES Classic, which was almost impossible to find. In a statement published by Kotaku, Nintendo says that they will produce significantly more units of the SNES Classic, although they haven't provided specific numbers. That's good news for anyone looking to get their hands on one, especially during the busy holiday shopping season, but there's a catch. In the same statement, Nintendo also says that they're only planning to ship the new system until the end of the 2017 calendar year, which means that they'll likely discontinue it in early 2018, just like they did with the NES Classic earlier this year. That means that although more people will be able to buy a SNES Classic, you'll still have to hurry and get one before they're all gone. This seems like an odd move on Nintendo's part, given how profitable these retro systems could be, and the limited run indicates that they only look at them as one-off novelty items and not long-term products. Nintendo has previously stated that they're just one company with finite resources and their long-term efforts are focused on delivering new games for the Switch. If you want to get a SNES Classic, they're hitting stores worldwide on September 29th. The system will come with 2 controllers and 21 pre-installed games with a price set at $80 in the US and $100 in Canada. That might sound like Canadians are paying more, but if you look at the actual conversion rate, it means it will actually be about $5 cheaper in Canada. You'll be able to take control of another Final Fantasy XV supporting character before the end of the year. Episode Ignis, the 3rd expansion focusing on a member of your party from the main game, will land on the PS4 and Xbox One this December. The release window was revealed in a teaser trailer that appears at the end of the 2nd expansion, Episode Prompto, which launched today, although a precise release date is yet to be revealed. Episode Prompto, as well as the 1st expansion, Episode Gladiolus, focused on the supporting characters Prompto and Gladiolus, and Episode Ignis, as you might expect, will focus on the 3rd member of your party, the dagger-wielding driver Ignis. Like the previous expansions, the new one will be available to buy separately and is also included in the game's Season Pass, which is priced at $33 in Canada. This isn't the last of the new content coming to the game, not by a long shot. Square Enix is also working on the multiplayer expansion known as Comrades, which is expected to arrive in the coming months. Earlier this month at E3, they also announced a standalone VR expansion called Monster of the Deep, which is basically a fishing minigame. We'll be seeing more of Final Fantasy XV for years to come.
All right!
A new TV series based on one of the best monster movies is getting closer and closer to the surface. Sci-Fi has ordered a pilot episode for a new TV series based on the iconic monster movie Tremors. The project, which was first announced as being in development back in 2015, will see the original film star Kevin Bacon return as the leading man as well as executive producer, making this his first time being involved with the franchise in more than 27 years. The original Tremors movie was first released in 1990 and focused on a race of giant man-eating worms known as graboids that live just below the surface and are attracted to sound vibrations in the ground. It wasn't a huge hit when it was first released, but has become a cult classic thanks to its blend of action, horror, and humor, not to mention its practical visual effects that still look great to this day. There have been countless straight-to-video sequels over the years, none of which featured Kevin Bacon, and there was even another TV series that aired for 1 season in 2003. The new TV show will take place 25 years later, with Bacon's character once again forced to take on the giant worms. Sci-Fi hasn't given it a full series order yet, but we'll let you know if they do.
We killed it. Fuck you!
It looks like Apple is getting closer and closer to making their own virtual reality or augmented reality headsets. Apple has bought a German company known as Sensomotoric Instruments, which specializes in making eye-tracking technology for desktop computers as well as VR and AR headsets. Their software and hardware basically allows users to input commands based on what they're looking at, which comes in handy for video games, and because the tech is tracking what your eyes are doing, it has also been used in medical research to investigate different kinds of visual disorders. On their website, Sensomotoric Instruments says that they see eye tracking as becoming an integral part of day-to-day computer operations, something that Apple obviously agrees with given that they've bought the company. Apple hasn't said what they plan to do next, but the buy-up indicates that they might be planning to use eye tracking in future versions of the Mac or iPhone, and maybe even their own AR or VR headsets. We'll just have to wait and see. This isn't the first time Apple has shown an interest in VR and AR. They first announced that they were looking at augmented reality after the breakthrough success of Pokemon Go, which launched on iOS devices last year. Earlier this month, at their Worldwide Developers Conference, Apple announced that future Mac computers would be compatible with VR headsets, and they also announced a developer app called ARKit, making it easier to create AR apps for iOS devices. And another big tech company is shelling out some dough, but not for a good reason. Google has been given a record-breaking $2.7 billion fine by the European Union over alleged manipulation of its search engine results. The EU claims that Google has been unfairly using their search engine to prop up their own shopping service at the expense of competitors, making their own results appear above others, even when others might have the same product for a better price. This violates EU antitrust laws, with officials adding that Google abused its market dominance as a search engine, preventing rival companies from competing in a fair market and preventing consumers from getting an honest choice. They've given Google 90 days to end their unfair practices or face an even stiffer fine if they don't. Google has publicly denied the accusations and is considering an appeal. The DC Cinematic Universe might be taking audiences on an unexpected trip to the Soviet Union. Warner Brothers and DC are rumored to be interested in making a big-screen movie based on the Superman Red Sun comic book. The news comes from two different sources. Filmmaker Jordan Vogt-Roberts, who recently directed the monster movie Kong Skull Island, revealed earlier today on Twitter that he was brought in to pitch Warner Brothers on an adaptation of Red Sun, although he doubts he'll ever get to make it. After that, comic book author Mark Miller, who wrote Red Sun, revealed that he has two different director friends who have also pitched Warner Brothers on a Red Sun movie in the last 2 months, although he didn't say who. If Miller and Roberts are telling the truth, it indicates that Warner Brothers is at least thinking about making a Red Sun movie. The comic was first published in 2003 and imagines what would have happened if Superman had crash-landed in the Soviet Union instead of the United States. It's easily one of the best Superman comics in recent memory and has been cited as a favorite of current Superman actor Henry Cavill. It's unclear how the story could fit into the newly established DC Cinematic Universe if Warner Brothers actually moves forward. There's no guarantee that a Red Sun movie will ever get off the ground, so consider all of this a rumor until further notice. We'll let you know if more details come in. That's it for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about game design, visit our pals at VFS.edu. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new episode. In the meantime, check out some of the other cool content we've made for you. And if you dig it, hit subscribe, okay?